Well, I am a senior media communications major here at Indiana Wesleyan the past several years, and I'm going to be graduating in December, so a very exciting time, but also maybe a little bit of a stressful time and the unknown and what's going to be out there. Like I said, media communications. I do a lot with TV. I'm involved here with our sports show Wildcat Week. We've been broadcasting for several years, so I really feel called to that area. I feel like God can use me in a lot of ways there. I've done some internships last summer in Columbus, Ohio. Go Bucks. In DC. I'm going to be doing that this summer. I did WBNS last summer, which is the CBS affiliate. So just following my dreams and doing that as far as working through my potential career here. And I look at finances too. It's kind of a tough market to be in as far as career can be somewhat unsteady at times. But I feel like if I plan accordingly and rely on people that are around me, then I can definitely be able to strive and follow that purpose and God's leading in my life. Like I said, I really want to follow my dreams and do what God has called me to as far as broadcasting and broadcast journalism and really telling other people's stories and being involved in that way. Talking to people at my internships as far as how much the salary makes and how you kind of plan and budget your life. It takes some discipline. A lot of them, you don't make nearly as much as you think. You think you're on TV, you think you're going to make a lot of money, and it's all glorious. But that's not always the case. The average salary I'm looking up, and the internet statistics aren't always accurate either. But reporter, an average news reporter job is around $35,000. An anchor might get anywhere up to $70,000, $80,000. But starting off, you can start in $20,000 range. But a lot of times, the smaller markets, they're going to be places where the cost of living isn't as high. So talking to some fellow reporters in the field and people that I've done it for a living for quite a long time, they said it's just all about budgeting your time and resources in a way that you might not necessarily live in the nicest apartment starting out, or you just might manage your food, your car insurance, and just the resources that you have around you a little differently. Well, recently I have looked into some apps. I got an iPad recently. Mint.com is really a nice app that it really sets out your budget. It links straight to my banking account back home, and I can look at my entertainment costs, my food, my all different recreational and utility bills and all of that I will have. And that's really got to be pretty helpful for me, I believe, going in through and really divvying up what I need to do. I looked up one of Dave Ramsey's financial budgets. This was a little different than the one I turned in class initially, but just looking through that, the ones that really got to get you started early on. And some of these little categories of it have monthly totals of items such as your utilities, your cable, your entertainment costs, your rent, all of that, and how much you're going to spend each month on that. If you don't know exactly, you can guesstimate on that and try to make it as close as you can. Then you have the payoff total right next to it, and that is how much money will be required to pay those off. Those are mostly going to be for your car insurance, your rent, and different angles of that. And then the next category would be how far behind you are, and then you could really just designate how many days. You could just designate this much money for each day, and just simply tally up. Say I'm 2 days behind, and I really need to do what's necessary to get back on top and back on schedule. Then the type of account you would use for each of those categories would be if you're going to use your bank account, if you're going to use your debit card, if you're going to use cash. Ramsey talks about how it's important for us to really designate those areas that, hey, I'm only going to pay cash when I go this category. Say if I go out to eat fast food, I'm going to use cash for that, or I'm just going to use cash for some of my entertainment instead of really dipping into your credit like that, which I think could be very valuable in really managing your time and resources and being smart about your money. I also want to start a process of accountability and saving for my future. Maybe set aside a couple $100s a month right off my starting salary. Might not be huge, but still just set aside a couple of dollars here and there, and that can really start accumulating and planning for the rest of my life and maybe starting a family in the future, and really just staying accountable and maybe keeping receipts, keeping a budget book, and just with different items that I've been paying for, and really just staying accountable. Also with people as well around me that can really keep me rooted. My dad is an attorney, and he's very smart with his money usually, pretty frugal most of the time, but he's really one that I've looked to as an example, and just talking with him through the different areas of my budget and just keeping on top of that. He's a big tax guy, so He does taxes for a lot of people, so he'll definitely keep me in line in that regards. But just looking to him for guidance is going to be crucial here, I think, in the next couple of years. I feel like my finances in college, I've been very blessed. My parents have paid for my college pretty much in full. I've kind of picked up the costs a lot with books here and there, and just my costs throughout the year. I've got a job here on campus here at the TV station, WIW-TV, the last 4 years. So just broadcasting and working for the show, I've got kind of a weekly stipend that I've worked through and been able to, not ask my parents and call them up for money, say, hey, I need money to go out to a restaurant or just hang out with my friends. So that's kind of been part of my responsibility that I've tried to take on here. But I feel like college it's kind of a different environment. I mean, never again in our lives, so hopefully we'll be losing this much money. And as far as debt, I've been blessed, but I know many other students my age are really coming out of college with this debt trap that it's going to be hard to. So hopefully it's not, college is supposed to be training you, but I feel like it's not always realistic grounds, because I mean, you're given everything. Like here at IWU, we're kind of in this bubble. You're given everything. You have the food, you have all your resources. You just go back to your dorm, and you don't really have to worry a whole lot about that. But I feel like it does a nice job of educating us for the future. But as far as implementing those benefits that we're going to have here in the next couple years, it's really going to be a lot of trial and error. I feel like I'm going to do a lot of learning and growing, I think, in the next couple years, and really being on your own. I probably won't be living close to home, maybe, but not sure. And I think I'll really grow in that area. As far as extra income, I've really been kind of researching and looking at my skills and things that I can use for my future that can provide a little bit of exponentiary costs that can really help my budget out a little bit. I'm a musician. I play music. I actually released my own CD a couple years ago with piano, instrumental, as well as I sing. And so that's kind of things that really been laid on my heart to use my gift of music and playing the piano to really touch other people's lives, and maybe extend that as far as piano lessons, offering those in different avenues, getting connected in the community, and really maybe getting involved in some kind of a music group, possibly within the church worship group that I can get involved in that. And I also have a passion for youth, maybe along those lines, maybe a worship leader in the youth group, or that kind of area. So really just working through that and finding out what I'm skilled in and what God's called me to, but also adding a little more stability to my budget as well and my financial income. Like I said, I'm winding down my college days. The next couple of months, I'll be graduating in December, so this is kind of an anxious time in my life, but I know a lot of the seniors, my fellow seniors, are kind of going through a lot of the, not mental breakdown, but just a lot of pressure as far as what do you got to do next. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do next. I have an internship. I've got to work some things out there as far as my past in the TV news world. But just really looking through the semester has really helped me kind of realize and ponder different things as far as my personal life and how I'm going to be moving on in my finances. Just really thinking ahead, being smart about those. Some verses that I've always been looking towards is the one that says, be anxious about nothing, and God controls everything that we have in our life, and just really thinking through that. Obviously, God is our heart, mind, soul, and strength. That verse in Proverbs is also a great one to look at. My favorite verse is Jeremiah 29:11 that I've had for many years when I committed my life to Christ, senior year of high school. And for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. And things in my life have just really helped me realize and put things in perspective. And so I think just being smart about my finances and honoring God in that, and having people come alongside me to help me in that role. Obviously looking up things online like Dave Ramsey's great resources and tools on there, and just thinking through my budget, and I don't know, just using all my education here that I've got at IWU to really help me out and really be successful when I really get out in the real world. And think of the quote off of The Help, kind of a cheesy little thing, but it always remembers. You always think of that when you think of that movie. It says, "You kind, you smart, you important." It's kind of a funny little quote there, but it just really. People like that can come alongside you. You need to be smart about your finances. You need to really realize why you're here in this life. What is your importance? Obviously, it is to extend that kind and loving heart to a lot of people out there. But as far as finances goes, just to be really diligent in that, stay rooted in it, and obviously ultimately glorify God in that. And hopefully, I can make an impact on the world. I don't know if I'll be a world changer, a bust over there in the library hall, but hopefully make an impact on the world and do what I can, and obviously be smart about finances so I can do the things that I love here for my future.